Hello students, welcome to SDK Pathshala. Today we are on our chapter Primary Concept of Force and Energy, and today is the second part of the lesson. Second part, okay. So in the earlier part we have discussed about different kind of energy, different kind of forces. So before starting the chapter we will discuss a particular force which is known as the frictional force, and it is a contact force. So today we will elaborately discuss the frictional force. So the frictional force okay. Suppose if you roll a ball on the floor, after some time what will happen? The ball will roll for few seconds and it will cover a distance, and after a certain time the ball will stop moving. Why the ball will stop moving? Because of the frictional force. Frictional force is a kind of force which applied on the opposite direction of the motion. Opposite direction of motion. Now what is opposite direction of motion? So in this case the direction of the ball is in this direction, from suppose X to Y point. Now the motion is in this direction, so the frictional force will apply on this direction, and frictional force apply on the direction opposite to the force, and it is the force which doesn't allow the body to move or to slide through it. Okay, so obviously it will try to hold the body, and as the body try to, or as the frictional force try to hold the body, then that's why after some time the body stops, because no external force is given after the previous force. Initially you give a particular force, but after that you will not apply that continuous force, so that's why after some time it will stop. Okay, now to know about friction we need to know what is the main reason of friction. The main reason of friction is the unevenness between the two surfaces. What do you mean by unevenness? In a microscopic context, if you see that in a particular ground, or in case suppose a tire or a car is moving on a particular road, at that time the tire is moving on the road, it is rolling on the road. Okay, so if you see microscopically, then you will see there are different grooves, or small, very small grooves are present in the surface. So if one surface, suppose this is of a particular material and there is another surface, or if you want to slide it, then there is a interlocking between these two surfaces. There are the small grooves, small unevenness which interlock two bodies. So that's why one body cannot slide over another body for a longer period of time. So we need a greater force to do that. Okay, so this is the frictional force. So what is frictional force? If someone asks you what is frictional force, so frictional force is a kind of force which applies on a particular body when the body try to be in motion, or when a body tries to be in motion, or when a body is in motion. What is the meaning of try to be in motion? Suppose there is a block or there is a brick. Suppose this is a brick. Okay, now if we push the brick along this direction, so push is a kind of force. So when you push, then you will apply a particular force, but as soon as you start applying force, will the brick move? No, the brick will not move initially. But if you increase the force, if we increase the value of the force, suppose the brick is here, we are just sliding in. Now the body is not moving, but when we apply the greater amount of force, the brick will move. Okay, so we need to overcome a force which is known as the static friction. So when a body is about to move, or when a body is at rest and subjected to a particular force, then as long the body is at rest, so a force generate which acts on the opposite direction of the application of force, which doesn't allow the body initially to move, is known as the static friction. And whenever a body is in motion, then a particular force which try to hold the body or try to decrease the motion of the body is known as the kinetic friction of the body. Okay, so for example of friction, you can see the in case of shoe, if you see the sole of the shoe, then you will find there are different kind of grooves, or there are different kind of designs are made. Okay, suppose a shoe is kind of this. Okay, so in the sole you will see there are some pattern like this. Okay, so why the patterns are like this? So if you flip the shoe, you can see there is a pattern. So why the patterns are like this? So it will increase the friction. So sometimes we need to increase the friction, sometimes we need to decrease the friction. That's why it is known as necessary evil. It is necessary. Why it is necessary? Because suppose you need to write something with pencil. So how will you write? You will just take out the pencil and you start writing on the particular board, or start writing on the particular page. So due to the friction between the lead and the page, the graphite or the black portion, the lead portion, that graphite portion just breaks. Okay, and due to the breaking of that black portion, we can see a writing is there. Suppose you are a dancer and you need to dance on a particular floor. Okay, so you can dance easily, but if I put some amount of soap water there and ask you to dance, will you be able to dance? No, you will not. You will slip. Why? Because it reduces the friction. So sometimes friction helps us, sometimes friction doesn't help us. In the time friction helps us, for example, in case of walking, in case of writing, in case of lighting a fire, friction helps us. Okay, but due to this friction, tires and torn out, okay, or the shoes torn out, okay, due to this friction. And heat, a huge amount of heat is also generated in the case of friction. After cycling for 10 minutes, if you touch the back axle, then you will feel the heat, and that is enough amount of heat which can make a burn to your hand. Okay, and after in a particular motorcycle, after running the motorcycle for several minutes, if you touch the silencer, you will feel the heat. Why? Because due to the friction of the engine, okay, friction of the different parts of the engine, the energy or a heat energy generates. When we rub our two hands or two palms, then the friction, due to this friction, the frictional energy due to the friction, the kinetic energy is converted into heat energy. Okay, so this is about the friction, and sometimes we need to reduce the friction and sometimes we need to increase the friction. When we need to decrease the friction, suppose in a car, the car is made in such a way that there is a shape, or it will shape like this. So it is a kind of streamlined shape which will allow the car to move fast through the air. Okay, and sometimes we need to increase the friction in case of the sole. So these are the few examples. Next, come to transformation of energy. So previously we have also discussed about the transformation of energy, transfer of energy, that is energy. What is the law of conservation of energy? Law of conservation of energy states that there is no way by which you can destroy energy or you can create energy. The total energy of the universe is constant. You can only transfer one type of energy to another type of energy. Now suppose in case of potential energy, so what is potential energy? Potential energy or gravitational potential energy, elastic potential energy, there are different kind of potential energy, but as a whole, if we want to know what is potential energy, then potential energy is a kind of energy which stored in a particular body due to the position or due to the change in shape or size. Okay, in that case, in the case of bow and arrow, okay, when you pull the string, so it's bend and its position changes or its configuration changes. Due to that, it will take or it will have a potential energy now. Okay, so this is about potential energy, and in that example, potential energy is converted into kinetic energy in case of arrow. So potential energy give rises to the kinetic energy. Okay, so in case of a dam, in a particular dam, there are two sides of the dam. Okay, in this side there are, or in this side the height of the water is this much, and in this side water is low like this. Okay, so when you open the window, okay, or open the door, what happened? Water rushes through it. Why? Because here, by with the increase in height, the potential energy increases, and as soon as you open the lock gate, then it will convert it into kinetic energy and comes. And from here, if we place a turbine, then it will run the turbine, and as it runs the turbine, then this potential energy first converted into kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy convert, or this kinetic energy run this turbine, run this blade, so kinetic energy, so that kinetic energy transfer into electrical energy, and this is known as hydroelectricity, and the electricity such produced is known as hydroelectricity. Okay, now why we need electricity? Because nowadays every device need electricity. Your mobile phone need electricity, fan, light, whatever gadgets you are using needs the electricity. So electricity is the main type of energy that we use, not the main source of energy. It is a main type of energy. Main type means we need to convert all those available energy into this electrical energy so that we can use it. You can't run your phone if you put it in the oven or on the oven or over the oven. But why not? Because in gas oven heat energy is there. Okay, or you can't run your mobile just by putting it under the sun. Why? Because that is the heat energy, that is the light energy which will not run your phone. Then which energy runs your phone? The electrical energy runs your phone. So that's why you need to convert all those types of energy into the electrical energy. So that's why our main motto is that what the available energy you have, you need to convert the available energy into electrical energy. Okay, so for example, another kind of energy we have heat energy. So that heat energy, by applying that heat energy, we can boil some amount of water, and if we get the steam and pressurize the steam, and we can convert the, or we can rotate the turbine, then we will get the electrical energy. And this procedure is done in case of thermal power station. This is hydroelectric power station, and that is thermal power station. Okay, where the heat energy is converted into electrical energy. Okay, sometimes atomic energy is also converted into electrical energy in case of a windmill, where the windmill there is a turbine itself, and that turbine is rotated by those external blades which are made to rotate by the air current, so when air flows, then it moves the blade, and the blade moves the turbine, and due to that kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy. Okay, so all the kind of energy we have, we need to convert it into electrical energy. We need solar energy to convert into electrical energy. In solar panel we will do that. Okay, so all energy sources should be converted into electrical energy for now at least, because now we need the electrical energy most to run our appliances. Okay, but what is the main source of energy? The main source of energy is sun. Sun is our main source of energy. Okay, and remember one thing, all the types of energy ultimately converted into heat energy. All the types of energy is ultimately converted into heat energy. Okay, so why sun is the main source of energy? Because due to sun, all the other activities are related with the sun. Okay, like plants grow because of sun, and we eat plants, we eat different other animals. Okay, so we will get that energy of the sun not directly but indirectly by consuming all those things. Okay, so the main source of energy is here is sun. Now there are two kind of energy sources. One is known as renewable energy sources, another one is non-renewable. Renewable and non-renewable. Renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. What do you mean by renewable sources of energy? The energy sources whose energy can be renewed, or we can get, or it will last for a longer period of time, and we can get it easily by or we can convert it easily through a particular process is known as the renewable sources of energy. Okay, which can be renewed into a shorter period of time, like energy of wind. Energy of wind can be renewed. We can use this energy for several times, or we can easily use this kind of energy, and time after time we can use. But non-renewable sources, suppose fossil fuel means coal, petroleum, these are all non-renewable sources of energy. Why? Because once it will finish, you can't create those coal and petrol with a shorter period of time, but you can take the solar energy and you can use it, then on next day again we use it. Okay, so this is the unlimited source, you can say. Okay, or in near future it will not end, but in near future non-renewable sources of energy will end. Okay, so we should use renewable sources of energy. And remember one thing, main renewable sources of energies are kind of eco-friendly, and non-renewable sources are not eco-friendly as much like the renewable one. Okay, next we need to know about food chain. So where we are there on the sun. Okay, so all the energies are coming from the sun. Okay, so at first the energy of the sun is taken by the grass. Suppose there are grass. Okay, so grasses will take the energy of sun. Okay, and then these grasses are eaten by goats or other primary consumer. So these are the producer. And the second step, the deer, the goats, okay, they are the primary consumer. Okay, then comes the secondary consumer like us. Okay, so the energy of sun is come not directly but indirectly through the producer, through the primary consumer to us. Okay, so this is how a food chain created. In a particular food chain is a particular relationship between the food and the consumer. Suppose in case of a pond, let us make the food chain. So at first there are small algae, okay, which are the producer. They produce the food for the small fishes, and small fishes are eaten by the big fishes, and then big fishes are eaten by more big fishes, and then that big fish we will eat. So we are the top of the food chain. Okay, or we are the last on the food chain. So energy flows from one to another. Now if you make a food pyramid, then at the first level there are the producer, then primary consumer, then the secondary consumer, okay, and thereafter the humans and all the other carnivorous animals are there. Okay, so the energy will come up. At first we can't take that energy directly. The energy directly from the sun is taken by the producer, then for the primary consumer, then it is available for the secondary consumer, then human, then the other consumers, okay, which are on the top, like this is grass, then grasshopper, then deer, then suppose lion. Okay, so at the top lion is there, then deer is there, then grasshopper is there. So energy is transferred from one to another in case of a food pyramid, and all these levels are known as, all the levels of these food pyramids are known as trophic level. Okay, trophic level. And the relationship between or the net relationship between the food and primary consumer, secondary consumer, there is a net like structure. This is known as the food web, where all the animals, all the plants, or all the things are kindly correlated. Okay, and that is, or that can be shown, or that can be, or the relation between the different consumers, different producers, and different other animals can be shown by the wave of particular wave or particular net like structure. So this is known as the food wave. Okay, next, so this is the primary, this is the trophic level. So this is first trophic level, this is second trophic level, this is third trophic level, this is fourth trophic level. So each stage of the pyramid is known as trophic level. Now there is a law about given by Lindemann. So the law is the law of 10%. Law of what percent? 10%. So the law is very easy. I am not directly state the law. I will make you understand the law. At first, suppose some amount of energy is coming from the sun, so the producer will take that energy. Okay, so it will store 10% of that energy, 10% of that energy as the body mass, which will be available to the next trophic level, which will be available for the next trophic level, means which will be available for the, suppose this is grass, then this is grasshopper, so the grasshopper will get 10% of the energy which will taken by the producer. Okay, and next the total amount of energy taken by the second trophic level, this one the second trophic level, so the total energy taken on the second trophic level, 10% of that is available for the third trophic level as it stored as a mass. Let me make it clear. Okay, suppose producers have 100, or for producer get 100 amount of energy from sun, so it will get 100 amount of energy, suppose 100 amount of energy, so it will use all 100 amount of energy, but 10% of energy it will store in the producer as the mass. So it will have how much percentage? 10%. So 10% of 100 is 10. So producer take 100, but it will store 10, and this 10 will available for the second trophic level. So second trophic level will get 10. Okay, and this 10, out of this 10, it will store 10%. So what is 10% of 10? 10% of 10. So that is 10 into 10 by 100. So it will store 1. It will store how much? 1. It will store, out of 10, it will store 1. Out of 100, it will store 10. So if I write like this, suppose let me make you clear. Suppose this is the pyramid. There are 1, 2, 4 stage. So at the first stage here producers are there, so it will take 100 energy. 100 energy is taken and store how much? 10%. That 10% of 10, 100 is 10. So 10 is stored. So out of 10, so it will, the 10 will given to the same next tropic level. So for the next tropic level, it have that 10 amount of energy. So it will take that 10 amount of energy and 10% of that energy it stores. So it stored 10% of 10 means 1. 10% of 10, 10% of 10. That is 10 into 10 by 100. Okay. So it will store 1. So for the third tropic level, how much of energy is available? 1 energy is available. So 1. So out of 1, how much it will store? 10% of 1. That is 10 by 100 into 1, that is 0.1. So it will store 0.1. So the 0.1 is available for the next tropic level. So this is the energy it takes, and available for the next is 10. Then 10, then it will take this 10. The second stage will take this 10 and it will stored as the body mass as 1. Okay, then it will, on the third step it will take the energy of 1 and then it will store 0.1 as body mass, which will be available for the fourth in the tropic level. Okay, understood? So this is known as the Lindemann law of 10%. So Lindemann's law of 10% states that, now I am stating, Lindemann law of 10% states that the energy received by the each tropic level, 10% of that energy is stored as the body mass, and all the 90% they use, but they store that 10% as the body mass, which will be available for the next tropic level, or who are present in the next tropic level get that 10% of their energy which they, or the energy which they store, they take. So that is the 10% of the energy. And for the third or for the next tropic level, it will also get the 10% of the energy, or the energy stored there, 10% of the energy stored there. Okay, so this is the law of 10%. So for the next topic level and the previous topic level, there is the energy difference is huge, or the energy is received in each topic level is the 10% of the energy which is used, or which is used by the previous topic level. You can remember like that also. Okay, so this is all about the chapter, and your chapter is finished. Nothing is left in this chapter. So all the topics are covered. You need to read the book carefully, and after that, if you have any doubt, then you can comment on the comment box and I will try to solve them. And one thing, on the next class we will discuss something about, or some question answers maybe. Let us see what we can do in our next video or in our next class. So if you like my video, then please press the like button, and if you not subscribe yet, then please subscribe it through and press the bell button, so that whenever I upload a new video, you can get that video very easily. Thank you, students.